Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's no surprise to anyone that this political climate that we're in right now is more of a popularity contest than I think a lot of people would hope it to be. And long about, I guess it was a year ago, I met my guest here, Schmidt, member of the Libertarian Party. And if any of you out there know about what they stand for and whatever, individual rights and certain individual freedoms and things like that, very interesting party. Rand Paul, of course, being the national, probably best known figure for the Libertarian Party. So I invited him back again, and he brought the chair for the Warren County Libertarian Party, Adam Pensel, with him. So welcome, Adam. Great to see you, Chris. Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
You're quite welcome. Thanks for coming back. With that sort of opening, I heard you laughing there, and I thought, okay, here we go. But I tell you what, let's start with just really give us that sort of 30,000-foot overview of what the Libertarians stand for, that someone might say, oh, that distinguishes them from either the traditional parties or any of the fringe parties.
Sure. Well, a Libertarian generally just stands for individual liberty. So on the basis of legislation, any law that's going to be passed, we look at it and we say, how is it going to affect people on an individual level, not the collective law, not people as groups. And if we find that that law is in contrast with that person's autonomy from the government, we don't support it.
Yeah, got you. You know what? I'm a student of politics. A lot of people know that. I've been around for a while, so I've seen a lot of different administrations come in and a lot of policy changes over the years. You couldn't help but notice, in the primary especially on the Republican side, they were fielding so many candidates. Rand Paul, really stood out in the pack there, but you could almost see him looking at the crowd and just thinking to himself, this popularity contest is not working for me.
Yeah, maybe he needs a haircut or something.
Yeah.
No, Rand is a very meticulous speaker. He's very scientific in the way that he goes through things, and I think that was actually hurt him more than helped him, because he didn't have that suave sort of thing that the general electorate is looking for in a politician, and I think that was his main problem. He did well with young people, young students, because libertarianism sure does appeal to the younger crowd, but I think that was his main issue.
Now, let's localize it, and I know that's one of the things that libertarians really do like to talk about is individuals in our communities. What are the policies that we should initiate here for the betterment of our communities? When you look at the way the elections turned out, pros and cons, without getting into any particulars of who you're for or whatever, but pros and cons about what you hope will be accomplished moving forward.
Yeah, well, generally speaking, we see that the left side, the liberals, are very good on civil liberties in terms of personal liberty. And on the right side of the spectrum, we see the Republicans better with economic liberty. So we've had 8 years of sort of the leftist agenda, and now we're going to go back to the right side. And we're hoping that we see some regulatory repeal. We're hoping that we see some tax adjustments, some lower taxes. Those are the two main things that we look towards with the new administration.
Now, if we look back on the last 8 years, at least for what I think you're saying, healthcare would obviously rise to the top of the list there, the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
Where would you place that?
The Affordable Care Act is something that most libertarians did not agree with, because it does violate the insurers to operate with autonomy from the government, and the individuals to purchase plans that fit just the things that they want to have covered. So we did not support the ACA, and most of us are happy to see the ACA be repealed.
Now, repeal and replace, of course, is what you hear most frequently. Do you agree that there should be a replacement in place before it's repealed?
Oh, absolutely. I think that we need to see the whole healthcare system shift back to more of a free market system. And we do not have that right now. That's something that confuses people quite a bit. We have a corporatist style system in healthcare, and we want to see more freedom. That means opening up healthcare plans across state lines, for example. We want to see the government not mandate certain things be covered by healthcare plans, so people can tailor their plans just to their needs, just like you do with your car insurance at home.
Yeah, sure. I've heard that analogy before. When you go back to individual rights, I'm of the generation of Ron Paul, which is Rand Paul's father. very much remember the whole sense of the company shouldn't be run by corporations, and it shouldn't be run by the government. It should be run by individuals and free market enterprise.
Right.
Anything that you're cautious about moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. We're very worried about immigration. We're very worried about free trade and tariffs. Donald Trump is a protectionist, okay? So you saw him speak very clearly that he was going to get rid of a lot of these trade deals that he thinks hurt the country by passing tariffs. That's something that we do not like. And then, you know, there's some authoritarian aspects of Donald Trump that are a little bit frightening as well. We saw Edward Snowden, for example, expose the NSA programs under President Obama, and Donald Trump stood by the NSA. He was not on Edward Snowden's side in that argument. And of course, those programs are clear violations of the Fourth Amendment. And generally speaking, libertarians stand by those first 10 pretty strictly. So,
you know, just talking about Snowden for a minute, I ran across the movie that Oliver Stone did on Snowden, and outside of the fact that Oliver Stone could be pretty dramatic and, you know, has an opinion of his own, I found it to be a really thorough investigation of what happened during that time period. I recommend it to anybody who's looking around for something to do on these cabin fever weekends. But a lot of interesting information about the NSA, the way it operates, and all of that. And of course, the libertarians would be really interested in a lot of the things that the NSA was doing, right?
Yeah.
I think all of us are, regardless of any political affiliation. Now, you've got a very active Warren County Libertarian chapter.
Yes.
You're starting one up in Washington County,
Correct.
right? When do you hold meetings and where?
well, our meetings are held the third Wednesday of every month at the Rock Hill Bakehouse Cafe in Glens Falls at 6:30 in the evening.
Got it.
And they're open to the public, so anyone can come and join us and see what we're up to. We became an officially sanctioned party in August of last year, so we're still just kind of getting our feet, on the ground here and getting things off and running. We are going to be looking for candidates to run for office and vacant seats in Warren County. So if you're interested, you can contact us on our Facebook page. That's how we primarily operate, being students of the 21st century.
Yes.
So
I'll pass on that one for a second. And over in Washington County.
And then we're going to have our first meeting Wednesday, February 15th at 5:30 at Empire Pizza in Hudson Falls.
Falls, okay.
Yeah, so we're hoping that enough people come and we can start making an entire new chapter in Washington County, just like we did in Warren County, and continue spreading the ideas in the region. So.
Yeah, got it. You know, we had you, that's the first time you and I met, is when you were establishing the chapters here in Warren County. So I'm really grateful to have you guys on. Thank you. Any dialogue that we can promote here about our community and about individual rights in the community, I'll definitely help foster. So, you're welcome to come on and talk about it. And anyone else is welcome to come on too, regardless of your political affiliation, to let our viewers know more about what you stand for. Thanks. We'll have you back in again.
Thank you,
and until then.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Good to see you, Chris. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.